Hello to everybody. This is a lecture about the elements of composition, color analysis, and visual language. And it's a lecture that is based on paintings that were done by artists during the art history quite long time ago up to our days. And I won't give you today historical information because I am an artist and you are artists too. So this is an opportunity that we are going to talk about how these paintings were done and what did the artist had in his mind. Some of the paintings are really quite important, so I just chose them because I think they have very important details about us. And it's very difficult when I'm organizing a lecture, it's very difficult for me to choose the paintings. I want to put in everything. I want to show you everything. I want to talk for days and share with my students what I have in my mind. The paintings that we're going to see, we're going to see them according to the date they were done. I had to choose a way to keep a sequence, a way to see them. So I chose the date that they were done. So this is, and I'm going to start with a quite unusual way. You are going to have a little surprise in a few seconds. And this is the great wave of Hokusai Katsushika. He was a Japanese artist, and he belonged to ukiyo-e, that it was a very important period of Japanese printmaking. You must know, if you were working with prints, you might have heard about him. We have a wave. Actually, what do we see? We have a wave. So the first thing that we see is a wave. But why this wave is so important? It's printmaking. He had to choose some very certain colors. The first thing that, when we see the first thing that we see is the wave. The wave, in the background, there is something else that is very similar to a wave. What is that? It's a mountain. It's a mountain. But this mountain is painted, it's done exactly the same way that the wave was done. So what is important? It's that he doesn't care if this is a mountain or this is a wave, but he just approaches the same way, both of them. He has the same attitude to both of them. Okay, so this is very important. And the day before, we were talking about the rhythm in the composition. Can you please make me with your hand a gesture that implies the rhythm of this composition? Exactly. So what is the rhythm of this composition? So here is what we really have behind. We have a spiral, okay? It's not just any painting. It's not. No, it has a grid behind, and he just is doing a composition. He hides in the waves the boats of the sailors, okay? And actually, he has the spiral. So it's not always what we think we see. It might be a lot of thinking behind. And numbers, οι αριθμοί, they have to do with natural elements. I mean, the Fibonacci number is something that we found all around nature. We find on the leaves, we find on the branches of a tree, we find everywhere. So in your notes, I won't spend many time to start explaining you how is done the spiral, but in your notes you're going to find some information about the Fibonacci sequence, how you can do it if you're interested at. This is based on Euclid's geometry, and its name is Fibonacci. It's a sequence of numbers that they have a very certain logic, okay? What I wanted to do today is just to put the idea in your mind that there are not everything spontaneous. There might be a lot of thought behind. So here is another surprise. I'm sure very few people might have seen this painting. It's Bangkok. It's not a famous painting of Bangkok. But I chose this painting because of the subject. It's very summer subject. And because at the end, what he is doing, it becomes at the end very abstract. And he has chosen here two complementary colors to work with. And here comes you, Anna, that you love the details. So you see how he organizes the whole thing. He is focusing on the painting on the center with all the details of all these little things that a crab might have. But at the end, all around and around, he just has put some fields of color. Usually it's actually what painters do with a portrait. They draw the eyes and the mouth and the nose, and then they little by little start to be more abstract. He did exactly the same thing, but what is very interesting is the way that he puts all around and around the color. Watch his brush strokes, the movement of the brush strokes. Also, it's very interesting in this painting to see the contrast of the two colors and see how he succeeded to do the contrast and how he puts warm color in his green and cold color in his red. Adigoni says that and it's very correct what she says. She says that he creates contrast with the brush strokes. He has his brush strokes like this, and then they go like that, and then they go like this. So his background, it's quite interesting. It might be one color, but this color has values, has tone values, he has hues, and he has contrast with his brush strokes. And now here, it's one, again we have Bangkok, is the red tree house. This painting also is not very famous. I chose this painting because I continuously tell you that when you put color, you have also to think about the tone. So it's one of the most genius paintings I've seen, that the use of the hues and at the same time the use of the tone scale. So I did it like this, so you can understand, and you have to concentrate and see which colors are vanishing because they have the same tone, and which colors they still be together because you can see them also in black and white because they have different value. So let's see some examples here. What is really very interesting is you can see on the road we have a yellow. If you see here, what is very interesting is that here we can see the purple, it's a blue, and we can also see the yellow. So his contrast here is only warm and cold colors, because where's there? Disappeared. So you understand how he thinks? So he wants to have a contrast, but his contrast is here. He doesn't want this contrast to steal from this one. He wants our eye to go directly here. He doesn't want our eye to be here. But he still uses yellow and purple. That is one of the most strong contrasts because we have complementary colors. This is intelligence. This is how he is very intelligent. He has an intelligent eye. His eye is very intelligent, so he can always create a balance, and when he puts a color, at the same time he controls the tone of the color. So actually you can also see this all over the painting. I mean, you can see this warm color here, you can see this warm color here, you can see his reds here that they are really, really dark. But because they are red, we have the feeling that they are softer. And what he creates a cold surrounding to show us, to make them come out. Sometimes I'm telling you while you're painting that if you have a dark color or if you have a very bright color, you need something to hold it. You remember that we were talking about your painting this morning, and we were talking about the bright line, the bright line, the bright blue line. What is he doing? He puts this very bright white to hold this dark thing. You remember, Annabelle, it's about what we were talking this morning about your painting. So if this wasn't here, his red that is in the middle of his painting, it was going to come out. But he puts this contrast and everything, it's holding this red. Antigone is asking if he saw this. Or if he was thinking this. Well, nobody knows what was going in his mind, but what we really know is that he had a very intelligent eye. Perhaps the branches would be warmer, the branches of the tree, but he made them red. And perhaps the road was a pale ochre, but he did it yellow. He was watching nature and he was transforming whatever he saw in his own visual language.